Hello, hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Chelsea J Experience. And you guessed it, you are about to hear another Ask Chelsea J. So let's get into today's question. And this one comes from Jalen. Jalen says, I believe my boss is verbally abusive, but when I tell my friends and family about it, they tell me I'm being too sensitive. What are some examples of things your boss should never say to you? All right, first of all, if you are in a toxic work environment or working for a toxic supervisor, you know the things that are inappropriate to say. And you don't need anyone else's validation. All right. I know that it can be helpful to reach out to family and friends and say, hey, this is what's going on. Am I overthinking it? But the thing is, and you have to remember this, there are so many people in the world, family, friends, and colleagues included, who have been verbally abused. And they've either built up an immune system to it and they're just used to it, or they behave that way and they don't think that it's toxic. So just because someone in your family or friend circle is saying that it's not toxic or abusive doesn't always make it true. Now, that being said, if you feel verbally abused, it is because your supervisor is crossing a boundary of yours and making you feel uncomfortable. So your feelings are absolutely valid, regardless of what they say or how they said it. If you are uncomfortable, if it doesn't sit right with you, if it doesn't feel right, you need to go off of that. Now, that being said, here are some things that supervisors should never say to you. Number one, they should never name call. If someone calls you stupid or dumb or tells you you never do anything right, that is verbal abuse and it is inappropriate for the workplace. Now, you may have heard of microaggressions before, and that's a completely different video, so I won't get into that. But that's another thing that your supervisor should not be doing. They should not be throwing out microaggressions towards you. Also, they shouldn't be tearing you down personally to try to get a reaction out of you or try to hurt you. So if your supervisor has learned something about your personal life, whether it be family or something that you have going on mentally or emotionally, and they make fun of it or take jabs at it, that is completely inappropriate. Another thing that your boss shouldn't say to you, well, actually, here's something they shouldn't do. They shouldn't be gaslighting you. If you bring this up to your supervisor and let them know, hey, this is what you said to me, I don't appreciate it at all, it made me feel uncomfortable. And if they tell you, you're being too sensitive, I didn't mean it like that, stop overthinking it, that is also something that is really inappropriate because they are not acknowledging your feelings in the matter, they're not taking accountability, and last but not least, they're unapologetic about it, which is a problem, which really is just destroying trust and destroying your relationship overall. Your supervisor definitely shouldn't be insulting you or threatening you. Believe it or not, I've seen, I've witnessed, I've experienced examples and situations where supervisors have threatened employees, whether it's threatening their job or threatening them physically. That is another video as well, but that's something that, again, your boss should not be saying to you. At the end of the day, if your boss makes you feel uncomfortable, if they strike or hit a trigger for you and it makes you feel ugh on the inside, that's the best word that I can describe it. If it makes you feel that way, pay attention. That is most likely an inappropriate or toxic supervisor, and you do not have to stay in that situation. If you haven't already checked out my Toxic Workplace series, please check it out. You need to watch it because in those interviews, I have so many people who share their experience and they talk a lot about inappropriate things that supervisors said to them or did to them, things that they picked up on when it came to red flags with their relationship with their supervisor. I really think if you watch some of those interviews, or all of those interviews actually, that you will find a lot of clarity and understanding as you navigate your journey with your supervisor. But most of all, trust yourself, trust your feelings, trust your gut, and best of all, know that you deserve better. You don't have to stay in that situation. If there's anything that I can do to help, please reach out. I would love to coach you and guide you and really just be a support system for you throughout this process. I would love to hear your examples of inappropriate things that supervisors have said to you or things that you've heard. Leave them in the comments below. And before you leave, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. All right, until next time.